So we have consideration for Carl.
Okay, so
What do you think?
I know at least one person like Carl, and there's some things that I like about Carl, which would make him a pretty good friend. When he's not high off his ass all the time. When I want to be high off my ass and drunk, and get pizza and watch a movie, he'd be so fun to hang out with. We both get high, we'd play video games, we'd watch a movie, we'd get drunk, probably watch YouTube, some Disney Plus, play some crazy games, and that'd be fun. And when I said games, I meant like board games or whatever, or party games. He's definitely been out there more than I have, because I guess in a way I'm very repressed too. And also, yeah, it's antisocial. He'd probably help pull me out when he's not high and he's not socially anxious. He'd probably help pull me out of the house. And then at the same time, like, I want to go out and do shit and be like, I'm gonna go see this place. It seems like it'd be fun. He'd be like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. You can get high while we're going. He'd be like, oh, okay. So then we'd both, be out experiencing new stuff, being like, dude, this freaking trail is awesome, isn't it? He'd be like, oh, I'm high.
Dude, I'm so high.
So when it comes to that, like, yeah, we would be a good match in that way. I'm also fine with just being a homebody most of the time. He's kind of got in a way, he's got the idea. You don't go out to a bar to get drunk because they charge too much for alcohol. You learn how to do your own drinks, usually simple drinks. My two favorite. Well, I have like two favorites. That's Screwdriver, which for non-drinkers is vodka and orange juice, and the other one is, I think everyone's classic, rum and coke. Yeah, you take those two. You give me those. Hey, that's good. You give me some beers and some I think whiskey. Put those as a Boilermaker. They taste like a frickin' they taste like you're actually licking a Boilermaker. They're disgusting, but dude, they do the job. They get you drunk.
Are we talking about what drinks we like now?
Yeah, I was just talking about like what drinks I have. What drinks I like.
Have you had
just
a Tokyo?
As a brief tangent.
Have you had a Tokyo tea? Or Sex on the Beach? Or Long Island iced tea?
Long Island iced tea, I was going for that one. I've had that one. I can't make it at home yet, but I know it has a ton of alcohol, and it doesn't taste like it has a ton of alcohol. I could gulp one of those down. Or as people say, I could fuck up a Long Island iced tea, and then it would fuck me up. I'd be all right.
So one of my friends' boyfriends at the con was making these wonderful mixed drinks, and I really hope that one thing is just like I hope that they manage to do whatever it is they want to do. I think it was between something that was sort of like CAD. I was a little drunk when they were telling me about it, but I think it's like the engineering designing side of it, or they could be a bartender.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah. If it's engineering, it could be CAD. That's usually for housing, maybe for landscape. If it's more for like manufacturing, engineering, like items, it could be Softworks, I think it is.
Yeah. So anyway, the point is, they were making drinks, and they made these delicious drinks that did not taste like they had much alcohol in them, but had a lot of alcohol in them. And those are the kind of drinks that I like. I like bitch drinks. I like bitch mixed drinks. Does that make me a bitch? I might be a bitch. I mean, I am wearing a pink collar.
Kind of person too. Hey, I'm gonna say it. I'm a bitch. I've got a friend who tries to get me into shots. I have a friend who tries to get me into shots. She loves shots, and we both love singing the song Shots, but I can't do shots. Every single time I've tried to do shots with her, I just can't fucking do it. I try so hard.
Does she just do them straight?
She does them straight.
Nice.
One after the other. Like, and she'll bring like her own gin, she'll have her vodka, she'll have whiskey, and she's like gulp, 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 and be like, how?
That
She's
is a
like, I'm not a bitch.
that's a boss ass
I'm
bitch
like,
right there.
she's a boss bitch, dude. She's a hell of a boss bitch.
But yeah, when you
I'm
walk
just
into
like,
the when you walk into the room with her, you see a health bar show up.
yeah, you see, any room that she's in that I have to walk into, there is like this fog over the door.
Foul Tower.
Yeah, the first time I walked in, she just had like that really raspy voice, foul tarnished. I was like, oh fuck.
It's like shit.
How many times am I gonna die?
How many times do I have
How
to
many
drink?
times am I gonna lie before? How many times am I gonna die before I learn how to dodge?
All right. Okay. Here's the big thing. How many times do I have to respawn in my bed, wondering what the hell happened before I win? And she passes out first. You both die of cirrhosis of the liver.
Consort Radon. Pre-patch, pre-nerf consort Radon.
You guys, like, they will have a pub outside of heaven, outside of the pearly gates, and St. Peter will just be watching you two, like, drinking shots, just glaring at each other, trying to figure out who's the boss. She's the invader.
Just Peter and God are taking bets.
They're just like, oh my fucking... Like, God is just... Peter's just like, oh my goodness, and God's like, oh my fucking self.
This is Family Guy.
Yeah,
So, anyways, let me continue on with Carl. In a way, Carl is a homebody, and I dig that. I'm down for hanging out with the homebody because I'm a homebody myself. I like the way Carl is just like, yeah, man, I've got the money. I'm just gonna do it. I'll kind of do what I need to do, and then, you know, we match each other's vibe a whole lot. But when our vibes cross, that's when it's like he is just, you know, I want to do stuff and he doesn't. I try to be real responsible and he's obviously not that responsible because, you know, why he doesn't have a car anymore. He got high on, I think, something he hadn't had before. And
I don't remember.
I know he got really high. I think it was like trying like crack or meth for the first time and he started seeing shit. And he was like talking to himself in the car and he thought that, you know, he had done, you know, unalived chase by running into the pole or a tree or something, and he was like, you know, crying. But in reality, it was just like he was just all by himself and he wrecked his car and put his head through the windshield. And it was just like, he's almost proud of that. And he was like, no, dude, that's not something to be proud of. That's not something to be proud of at all. Like, that makes me worried about, you know, letting you drive anywhere. Because he's almost always impaired. He's always high, almost like 90% of the time, maybe 95% of the time, he's high.
Yes.
Maybe 99% of the time, he's high. And he stays there. Now, after his route specifically, and he actually gets better, I think he would probably be a whole lot better. Because I don't know how much he gets high. It seems like he's less dependent on it, so he'd be more of like a party bro in that way.
Yeah.
But he has shown himself to be real loyal when it comes to like defending Jenna when she's under the influence of John. And then he's also like just like really casual when Flynn is being an absolute ass at the argument right before, you know, we all branch off and choose our routes. He just kind of sits back and takes it. Like, he's just like really nonchalant about it. And he seems to have a pretty good read on people. And honestly, he's been around Flynn for so long that I don't know if it's just kind of denial where he's just like giving Flynn a big pass all the time. But he kind of counsels Chase a little bit and says, you know how Flynn is. He's probably kicking himself right now because his pattern is he gets stressed out and he gets worked up and then he blows up, and then he regrets it, and then kind of comes back, and in his own very Flynn way, kind of apologizes and tries to make up for it, which is always a non-apology. He's like not regret for anything he's done, but he tries to like make things a little better somehow. But he doesn't really know how to do it.
Okay. Well, let's go back to Carl because we're starting to conflate Flynn and Carl's paths a little bit.
No. I was just saying, Carl.
No, I know.
Was saying that, and Carl seems to have that concern. He knows how to read people fairly well.
I know. Okay, so I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so I think Carl would be a pretty good bro. When it comes to like friendship wise, and also like when Jenna was under the influence, he was there saving Jenna even though she was beating him up.
Yeah.
So I think he would be pretty much an A tier friend for me. Because the only thing is like when our lines cross, we wouldn't be. I would be more disagreeable. I'd be kind of an ass. Because I'd be like, dude, come on, you need to go. You're just sitting around by all the time. He'd be like, no, dude, I just want to sit around. But if I'm both in like, if I'm also in a mood to just sit around and be high and drunk, whatever, Friday, Saturday night, yeah, I'd do that.
For me, I look at Carl and I get a different read on him, right?
Red flags?
You're looking at Carl sitting there when Flynn's screaming at everybody, and your beat is Carl's just like, "No, dude, it's all right. I'm just gonna be passive and I understand what's going on." And I'm looking at that as Carl just knowing this is wrong, knowing that Flynn shouldn't be doing this, and he's instead sitting there trying to not stand out, trying to not draw on attention because he knows Flynn's anger is going to go somewhere and it's going to go at him if he stands out at all. So I look at this as pure avoidance. Now, I mean, I do the same thing. Most people do. A lot of people do this, where when someone's angry, they tend to avoid that person. But there's the whole thing of when someone is angry and they're attacking your friends, there is a point where you stand up and tell them to shut the hell up. Like, there's a point where someone has to stand up to them. In this case, it's Leo. But, like, there's the point where if you're too passive in life, nothing happens. Now, with Carl, what's interesting is that when he finally heals and is able to move on past all this, he's actually a frat boy. He's a frat bro. A frat bro. He's a party boy in college. He goes back to college and he's doing his thing, right? So that's a good sign. But it also means that the things that he is focused on in the game right now, all of his avoidance is gone. So how he is during his route gets completely done away with almost at the end of one of his routes. Well, at the end of both of them. But I won't go into exactly how they're different, but in the ending where it's positive for him, he is definitely a completely different person. But and that person could also be very fun. Carl, as the character we see him for most of the Echo Project, is a vulnerable, avoidant, very avoidant, dismissive character. So in that case, I mean, we do have a lot of camaraderie there. I mean, if he wants to sit down and play Helldivers, hell yeah, let's do it. We can kill some squids, bots, or bugs. Hell yeah. But the thing is, you do want to get out and go do things, which he has a lot of gravity effectively keeping him in where he is, and he doesn't want to go do anything. Like, he goes and tries to get a job because he's being pressured to, not because he wants to. And so
his parents basically tell him to do it.
Yeah, and for me that's
what would frustrate me.
Yeah. And so for me, when I see that, I'm just like, okay, you don't have any passion for anything. You're still very young, so the passion's all still there, but you have all this trauma that's holding you back. And it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, we can play games and stuff, but what else do you want to do? Okay, we're organizing all this stuff. Cool, that's awesome. You're helping me with my project. But what do you want to do? And he doesn't have an answer to that, and that's what scares me. Granted, you can find that answer in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. It doesn't really matter. You might not pay off all the debt from following all that passion before you die of old age, but, who cares? You're dead. So, with Carl, he is a character that is very, in his own way, vulnerable. But at the same time, he is 100% ruled by his anxieties and his fears, which is very Echo. The problem with Carl is that the few times he is affectionate towards Chase is when he is high. And there's a problem with that. So you typically don't want to be making out with people when they're high or drunk.
Oh, yeah, because that's our word.
I mean, yes, but the main problem that I have there is that they can't consent, right? There could be some CNC going on there. That's called consensual non-consent, for those of you who don't know. That's a very gray area. And that's something you all have to pre-agree to. Okay, that's one of those things where you need to be very mature and know that's what you want. So, because sometimes if you're both high, maybe making out is fun, right? If you're both drunk, maybe making out is fun. So, it's one of those things where because he is only calm and able to make and not ruled by his anxieties and fears when he is high, that causes a problem for me. Now, if he's not high and he wants to make out, sure, why not? I always love being the experiment for people. But I look at that and I'm like, okay, I do like him as a character. I do like that he struggles. I do like that you can coax and convince him to try and that he will actually try. I do enjoy that he is a fairly genuine character. Like, Carl is more than happy to show you what he's feeling. Like, after a certain point when he's throwing up, he's always throwing up, but when he's throwing up in a specific place,
he's always throwing up.
Yeah, seriously, when he throws up in a very specific place and one or more characters find him and they're like, what the hell happened? Are you okay? Like, he's very quick to be like, get the fuck away from me, leave me alone. Like, when he wants to be alone, he wants to be alone. When things go wrong, he tells you. So in that regard, he's a very good character. And his whole thing is he just needs to refine that self-respect. Because he doesn't respect himself. You can usually tell if someone struggles with self-respect if they have some passive SI, we'll say. And he absolutely hates himself. So, it's one of those things where I do like him as a B, and I want him to be happy.
Yeah, I thought I put him on B too, didn't I?
Did you put him on B or A?
I put him on B.
Okay, so yeah, I want him to be happy, but it's also one of those things where if I want to go do something, he will most likely not want to go. If he does want to go, he'll be high the entire time. The problem here is that because he's high all the time, if anything goes wrong, now I'm basically his dad. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind being.
That's kind of. Yeah, the person that is very similar to Carl that I know. That's kind of the feeling I got too. Like, I care for the person. I want them to improve, but they're not ready to move on, and I'm very impatient. And I try to push them to go, and when they're resistant, I get very frustrated very fast. So, yeah, which is my fault, something I need to work on. Is like the need to be in control of some things and wanting to express that control on them when I shouldn't be. But it's like one of those like that's like what I was saying, like when our lines cross, when he wants to be, high, drunk at home, and I'm like, let's go out and do stuff, and he's like, nah, I was gonna be here. Like, dude, I want to go out and do shit with you. Like, right, I'm bored right now. He's like, let's watch a movie. We've watched some movies. Let's play some games. We've played those games. Let's do this tabletop thing. We've done that tabletop thing. It's just the two of us. Like, normally that's cool, but right now I'm like, I'm in this adventurous phase. I want to get out and look at shit. He's like, no. It's like in Flynn's route when Chase was trying to go to also, yeah. When on Flynn's route, when Chase was trying to go do research at City Hall, and Carl was like, I don't know if Chase had to encourage him to come, or if he just wanted to go because he didn't want to be at the house high alone. And then when it came to trying to help Chase out, he was utterly useless and actually more destructive than useful, because he damaged the camera.
But he did actually try. Like that's the thing we need to keep in mind here, right? He's like a child who's like, I'm helping, and they're just hindering you. But they are genuinely trying to help you, and which is why you don't typically get angry. You will get very frustrated with children when they're screwing that stuff up, but you won't typically yell at them, right? It's like, they're trying to help. They're just fucking it up.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand. They are trying to help. And yeah, with Carl, it's again one of those things, like, with my training and my experience working in detox and mental health, I look at his behaviors and I'm just like, yeah, there's a lot of grace to be given here, because you can coax him out to do things, but it can't be something where you coax him out like 2 days before and then he's ready to go. He will always be late. He will always be reluctant. He will always put in like a half effort. Not because he doesn't necessarily want to go, but because he's just so anxious and scared and paranoid about going and doing anything. So that's kind of where he is. And the other thing is this:
you give him more grace than I would. I try to, but him and I both have, like, you mentioned
I am
avoid.
I am strictly talking about Carl, not about the other person.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned dismissive avoidant. I'm pretty sure that's my attachment style too. So that would be, I don't think like two people would, I don't know if we'd make pretty good friends. Maybe we would.
Two dismissive avoidants are fantastic for each other.
Oh, okay.
Because they're both dismissive of the relationship, and they're both avoidant of showing emotions to each other. So they literally work out fantastically. They just...
I think it would be the other way around, because each one would be kind of paranoid that the other one's pulling away.
No.
All these times.
That's the opposite. The one who's the one who is worried that the other one's pulling away, they are the anxious, preoccupied, or something like that. They're the other one. Not the super interesting one, which is like dismissive and also anxious.
No, two people who are dismissive and anxious, they get together, they both be like,
No.
I don't know how to read this.
Specifically dismissive avoidance. So what two dismissive avoidants look like is take male Tony Stark and female Tony Stark from the movies and put them together. They're both like, cool, whatever, you're having emotions right now, that's fine. And they'll both go do their thing, and they'll both go and drink wine and whiskey, and they'll both come together and they'll be like, so you want some fuck now? Okay, let's do it. And they'll both just go bang like crazy. And then once they're both done, they both just light up a cigarette and they both smoke. And I'm like, okay, that was fun. And it's like, they don't, and then right after that, they go and they do their own things. And when they want to be around each other, they go and get around each other again, right? Their whole thing is they don't feel like they need to be attached at all. The simple fact that one of them might want to be more attached to the other is what freaks them out. It's what makes them feel scared, which is what makes them feel paranoid, makes them feel like they need to get away. So when they start getting that feeling like, hey, I'm not, I need to go do this for a while. The other person's just like, okay, well, see you later then. That anxiety just goes away because like, oh, okay, I'm not trapped. Cool. Like, two dismissive avoidance are fantastic for each other. It's just
what's the other one? Because there's one where it's like I forget what they call it, but it's one where
there's four of them.
There's one where it's like they want the other person, but they're also afraid to be vulnerable with them.
So,
I don't remember what it's called.
It's Wikipedia. It's an attachment theory. So let's go through them super fast.
I think it's like disorganized. Is that it? Where they want somebody, but they're afraid to be with somebody, so they push them away, and then they're afraid to be alone. So they're always seeking out somebody, but they're afraid to be with the person because they think to be rejected. And so they always have this push and pull all the time, and they don't really know what they want because they're just a mess of emotions.
Here are the four real quick. You have your secure attachment, which is what everyone should strive for. It is the healthiest version that really is basically allows you to be incredibly vulnerable and present with someone, share your deepest secrets, right, and have absolutely no problems. These people are the ones who are they are the ones who are able to get into a relationship with someone, have a really bad day at work, come home, tell their spouse that they had a really bad day at work, or their lover or whatever, and their lover goes, "Oh," and then pets them and helps them feel better, and then they go home, then they go to bed, and they wake up tomorrow feeling great, right? That's secure attachment. They're able to always rely on that connection. They are secure in being vulnerable. Then you have the dismissive avoidant, which are basically Tony Stark. They don't care. You know, like the moment someone really starts seeming to care a lot about them and wanting them to be around and wants to keep talking about these damn emotion things that are scary, dismissive avoidance are like, I gotta get some space here because this talking about emotion stuff is scaring the hell out of me. And this whole thing where they want me to be vulnerable with them, who the hell is vulnerable with anyone? I mean, really, who cares? And they'll make up all these excuses. There's anxious ambivalent. These people are interesting. So if I remember correctly, trying to refresh my memory super fast. So if I remember correctly, these are the ones.
Should we have like the Jeopardy music right here?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm trying to quickly reread it.
Okay, Finn, how much did you wager? I think you muted me.
Okay. And I no longer have you muted now. So, what it is with anxious ambivalent is that they, if I remember correctly, they want to know where their lover or caregiver's breakpoint is. And so they are anxious about being in the relationship. Not because they don't want the relationship being too close, but because they're frightened of being abandoned. And how they are reacting to the helplessness that's called by abandonment is they want to know exactly where that line is that will cause them to be abandoned. That will cause their lover, their friend, their spouse to be like, nope, screw this, I'm out of here. Fuck this. Right? So they will always try to figure out where that point is. And when they accidentally cross that line and when they start getting close to that line and their levels are like, nope, nope, this is way too much, dude. This is way too much. What's wrong with you? Right? That's when they start freaking out, and that's when they start really trying to reel the person back in. So
That sounds like narcissistic love bombing and shit.
it's
Get
not
you
really
reeled
that
in.
though. It's not that.
It still feels like that. Like they'd love bomb you to get you, and then they'd start testing limits
It's not that.
and pushing boundaries and stuff, and just be like,
It,
I do not want anything to do with this.
it's not that. What you're thinking of is they're doing it to manipulate you. What an anxious ambivalent person is doing is trying to find out when you will leave them because they are convinced you're going to abandon them sooner or later anyway. So they want to know when that's going to happen. And so they keep trying to figure that out. They keep trying to suss out when exactly you are going to abandon them. And their
So they
actions.
always try to get you to abandon them.
No, they're not always. Here's the thing, they're not actively attempting to get you to abandon them. They're actively attempting to figure out where that line is. Because if they can somehow figure out where that line is, but not cross it accidentally, then they know they can go right up to that line, and as long as they don't go over it, you don't go away. And so then, once they know where that line is, they can avoid it.
So it's always as a stressful. So they're always trying to see how much they can stress you out or irritate you or mistreat you, abuse you,
No,
and then just never cross that line. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
it's not what's
And
going
that
on.
is an absolute nope for me.
That is not what's going on. Instead, they are. You're kind of thinking it's from a malicious standpoint. That's not what's going on.
Oh, even if it's not malicious, I wouldn't have absolutely no peace in that, because I would have absolutely no place in that relationship. Because it's like my whole thing is just be at peace until I'm being the asshole, and then I need to get reeled back in. But
Let me put it this way.
someone who is actively testing like where the boundary is, be like, I don't
Okay,
want any of that, because it's just constant stress and destroying my peace, and I just will not have any bit of that.
let me put it this way. This is the easier way to see it, so you understand. The dismissive avoidant person, when they start to get anxious, they pull away from you. When the anxious ambivalent person starts to get anxious, they pull closer to you. And eventually, they are just permanently wrapped around your arm, shaking. They don't, like, it's not about you. It is about them being a terrified child who desperately wants you to be there.
So they're clingy.
Yeah, they are the poster child of super clingy. They are the poster child. So they will 100% become dependent on you. And so some people like that, so that's why they keep them around, really.
But what is the testing limits thing then? Like, what is that about? That them pulling away to that?
They'll be pulling in so much, they need to know. This be skimming this shit with service dyslexia, but it'll be them testing that limit to. They desperately want you there, but they also want to know when you're going to leave. Because in their mind, the reason they are so clingy to you is because they are convinced that you are going to abandon them. 100%. It's going to happen sooner or later. They want to cherish this relationship until it happens. Whereas the dismissive avoidant person is convinced you're going to abandon them anyway, so why the fuck should they invest in you? If it's fun, it's fun.
So that one is don't get emotionally invested. The anxious, but what is this one
The
that we're
super
talking about
clingy
now?
one is the ambivalent. They're the ones who want to be close to you. Yeah.
So what is the testing? What does that actually look like?
I don't know. Go look up a video about. Go look up a fucking video about it. So then you have the disorganized, disoriented one, which is a combination of the two, and it's basically a fucking mess. Because their anxiety makes them become dismissive of you, but then they get frightened that they'll be alone, and so they get clingy of you, and it's just.
It's just a
they're all
mess.
over the fucking place, and you're just you, yeah, they go through the entire gamut over and over and over, and you're just like, I don't know what to do. I think Cinema Therapy, shout out to those guys. They did a video on. It was with
Shout out to Cinema Therapy. They are awesome.
yeah.
They are goats.
I think I don't remember what the movie was, but it's where Flubber guy. I don't remember his name.
Oh,
Robin Williams
Robin Williams, yeah.
played a therapist, and the guy from the Bourne series was playing a person who had disorganized, disoriented.
Oh, yeah, I think I know which one.
Yeah, and so there's a famous scene where we're seeing how disorganized, disoriented works, where you see this person. Whenever the therapist starts trying to get close to them, they use all of the defense mechanisms to get this person the hell away from them. That's what
Good
it
Will
looks
Hunting,
like.
is it?
Yeah, I think so. But that's what that looks like, and it's absolutely fucking infuriating. Like, I do not understand how somebody could operate with that. But here's the good news. For those of you who do not have secure attachment, like I don't, I'm healing. I'm more dismissive avoidant than anything. And
Yeah,
that,
I don't have good secure attachment either. I'm that last one. I'm the disorganized one. I choose not to be in relationships because it's just too fucking nerve-wracking for me to be involved in one. I become a complete mess, and I absolutely hate who I am, so I just avoid that whole thing entirely.
okay, so
I have to be secure in myself first.
So for everyone, the good news is that you can heal all of these and get to secure. The other good news is that in the right relationships, you don't necessarily need to be secure. Right? It's better if you have a secure partner, but it's not absolutely required. Not absolutely required. So just keep that in mind. But if anybody does have something that is not secure and you want to sort of speed run your way towards becoming secure, a therapist can give you tons and tons and tons and tons of skills with that. Anyway, so I think that Carl is dismissive, avoidant. Anyway, so long ass tangent out of the way. For me, yeah, Carl is a B. And I think for you, Carl is a B.
Mm-hmm.
If he wasn't stoned all the time, he might be a little bit higher. But Carl post storyline, when he's basically just a cool ass frat boy who's doing his shit and he's having the time of his life, that's definitely an A, maybe an S.
Yeah, that would be A for me.
Yeah, he's just awesome at that point. He's doing his thing. He's running around.
You do have. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
He's running around. He's high-fiving people. He's like, yeah, let's go do it. Hey, Chase, you want to go? Like, hell yeah. He's the friend who hands you a drink, and then when you've had too much, he takes the drink away. Like, he's the friend who's like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Hell yeah.
Plus, he would also be like, I know where that routes go. I know where that route goes. If you just start depending on the alcohol and the weed, so he'd be like, no, I've been there. Come back. Don't even go down that road. You take 2 steps, and he'd be like, oh hell no, you're not going down there. He'd probably wrestle you to the ground first, and he's got the bulk to do it.
Yeah. And
he'd be like, you're not going that way. We're gonna go work it out.
And I think our whole attachment theory discussion came about because of his passive SI. With like him hating himself. So
the question for you though, does his over his route, it seems like he takes a more active role when stuff gets wild. Like when he was a kid, the flashbacks always, and even Route 65, someone gets in a fight and Carl just nopes out of the situation and runs off.
Mm-hmm.
But then on his route, it seems like when stuff starts getting bad, and he's facing something that isn't even a freaking, human, it's like he's kind of there to help fight it.
So he can't run.
Does that? Huh?
In that case, he can't run away. So in that case, he's effectively cornered. and he's with somebody who's been with him through thick and thin. He's with his friends. He literally cannot run away, and he's in a strange new world. Right? When you go into the other world, there's a thing that happens where it's like, we don't know where we are. If he was somewhere that he is certain is safe, then he would not really, then he could nope out and run away. But when you don't know,
he kind of at the end of his route, on one of the endings, Chase is like, I think Chase is limping along, like he twists his ankle. Oh no, he's already twisted his ankle. That's right. And Carl gets away from Jenna, and he's just like, I need to like run off and figure it out. So he kind of abandons Chase right there. So yeah, that the whole thing, like he will, run away from a conflict if he has the chance, not really be there for his buddies. I think that keeps him away from an S.
Well,
like he's not a bro that way.
He's finished that one, and he's pissed off at Chase. Right? He's already freaking the hell out. When people freak out, they want to be alone. Right? So he's already freaking out. His old tendencies are coming back. His friends have tried to kill him. And so he's like, nope, I gotta get the hell out of here. I gotta get away from you guys. I gotta go be on my own, do my own thing, and figure this out myself. And it's like, you can go be over there if you want. I don't care. Like, the world is basically unknown to me now. I need to leave. Right? And we also don't know what's going on from his perspective. So, yeah. So, I mean, so I think we have him both as an A.
Let's figure it out.
Yeah, we have him both as an A. So, is he a pass or is he a smash?
I think he's a pass.
All right, for me, I look at him and I'm like, we
Those
could
horns.
like make out. We could do stuff if he's not high. It would need to be contingent on him not being high when we're doing stuff. But I look at that and it's like, yeah, that could be fun. But for me, it's conditional, right? It's if he's not high or drunk, maybe a smash. If he's drunk or high, he's a pass. This is what it is. Because I want him to be as cognizant and present as possible. But there's also the whole thing that I'm now having to be the one who's leading him around, who's protecting him, who's basically babying him. I'm his daddy now. And it's like, yeah, that's not really something I like doing.
That sounds like a pass.
So, it just depends. But he has to be high for 90% of the time he's awake.
So he's like a 90% pass.
Yeah, so he's a pass. And but he's a pass on sex, but he could be a good friend.
He could be a good friend. I think we both put him at B.
All right.
And then after his thing, after his healing, at the end of his route, he's an A.
Yeah, he could be good. Yeah.